Welcome to Trading Lounge and the gold silver report for the 23rd of April, and we're looking at the DXY here, the basket of currencies against the US dollar. So what I want to point out here is a couple of things, 3 points really. So I've always known the first move up here was in three waves. So I've always known that, well, in terms of Elliott, we would have, whatever happened, this would all be part of a corrective pattern. Now, it could be simple as an ABC for the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave up here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for the C wave, and that's the end of it. And we just come all the way down, because this is a corrective pattern here, makes all of this corrective. That means it will make a new low at some point in the future down here. Now, what could also happen as well, we need to be careful of, is that the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave up here can just be the A wave here. We come down to the 50-60% retracement level where we are now as wave B, and then we go back up again up here. We get rid of these guys. If I've got one in here, don't have one in here, but we can just clones the new tech word. So, whoopsie daisy, didn't work out well. Wave C there. So it could do this. I don't know yet. Okay, so it could have a larger thing here. Now, this is important because this turn here was on, say, the 31st of March here. So when this started to turn down through here, that was the same time that gold and silver, 31st of March here, started to turn up from this point here. So we're tracking this move up through here as well. It could be anything. It could be an impulse wave. And this particular count here that I've got is just a long shot, okay? So don't pay too much attention to it, but we do need to keep it on the radar for a little bit. So looking at this is the A wave here, then an A and a B and a C wave here for the B wave and down for a C wave. Now, it may not be the case. It doesn't really matter. It's just my daily chart. I'm just telling you that the 31st of March here was the low, which was the same time that this started to turn down here. So I know there's going to be some support in the 50-60% retracement level. So we'll watch it here for a few days. It will, it will find support here. Okay. But then we'll start working on this count again down to the downside here. We'll get an idea of it. But what I can say is that the bullish market for gold will likely continue if the DXY continues to the downside here. But also too, once it continues to the downside here, I have to say that I would be counting 5 waves from the top down here down to here. Say, I've always thought 88 was about the right point. It's the first level, minor level under the medium level here of 90. So, so while this is moving down here into this space here, then gold can push up from that point. But then there'll be a turning point for this here, quite a large turning point. So we need to keep an eye on it. So we need to keep an eye on it just here and also down here as well for that. So over the next session or so, I'll pull it apart before, but we'll pull it apart again and we'll find out exactly where we are within this particular structure. But I just thought it's in the box, so we need to talk about it a bit. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so we can see the DXY is working with the with this commodity here, so that's cool. In this point here, we've just in very simple terms, we're looking at this as being wave 1, 2, and 3 coming up here. But I find that it's a nice little 5-way structure in here. But the problem with it is just a little bit. I don't think it's longer than the first wave here, so there's a bit of an issue with it. We'll have a look at that on the intraday though. Anyway, just be aware of this one. The other one is, of course, where we have the market to the downside that's already complete. We've got wave 4 in play here at the moment based on this low here for this. That's also possible as well. As I mentioned here, if I can just reshape this here a little bit, we can take the length of this one here, wave 1 here, and when we can move that to the low of wave 2 there, roughly speaking, we can see that it's a tad short here. So we can't have it we can have it as we can have this here as a couple of ways. We could have it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and finished here, and then just continue down from this point. That's possible. That's why I've got the wave C there as an A, B, and C. That's fine. We can't have it as wave 1 and 2 here and 3 in blue here because it's too short. Well, we could, as long as wave 5 here is even shorter. So we might need to come back to that one. The other way, the natural way to count this would be wave 1 here and 2 here, and then wave 1 and 2 here. And if that's the case, that will bring us back down to roughly the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, within group 2 here, 65, 72, and 80, and then push up from that point. So if we've had long trades on in gold and silver and so on, the idea was to take the money at the 1800 here for that. So yeah, look, there's different ways that you could count this here. It's not like we've got an impulse wave up here so far. Yes, we can count that as 5 and that as 5, but that could also be corrective as an ABC. It could be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. There's a variety of things it could be. On other markets, you might find that this is longer here than this one here. You know, you might be looking at that on GLD or GDX or something, and it might be longer, and it might be okay to put wave 3 there, but it's not the case here. So that's what we're looking at the moment. We knew that 18, well, I always, wherever I see number 8, I always see the bids get hit, so we call it a profit taking number. It's a minor level, it's really important. 8 is the third strongest number. So if I was going to trade long here, I would need either one of two things. I would need to see a very clear ABC pattern down here that I could work and get into, or I'd need to see support on the 1800. If I'm going to see support on the 1800, we would normally see the classic trading level pattern, the arrival, the reaction, a 3-wave move here, first high above the level, wherever that may be, and then another corrective pattern here, and then we go long from here. That's the normal thing that we look at going across the level. So if that was the 1800 here, we'd normally trade to here, get out, and then we just wait to get back in over here. So we could go long on that high, bring it down to that high, to that high. We could get into here, but we just need to be sure, because if that's an A and a B and a C wave, we won't know it's an ABC until this top here gets taken out here. That will confirm that that's the B wave. So we normally go long on the B wave. We could go long down here if we get a nice little impulse wave. We could, you know, scale in and manage the risk and exposure and work in and move on. You know, there's many, depending on your skill set, of course, but you need to know. You don't want to get stuck in the guessing game. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking across this level here. So the count could be anything based. But you know, we've counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here. You know, it just could fail from this point. I don't know that, you know. So we just need to wait and see what goes on here. And this is, go to the hourly chart. It's not much difference here. We've counted up through here. We don't need a lot of this now. We can just borrow these over here to put these out of the way here and just keep things in order a little bit. But these are the 5 waves we've been looking to the upside. So at this stage here, we know that it can't be that blue wave 3 at this stage. So I don't need any of these here. It's just noise. Could probably use these later on over here somewhere. So we'll just move them out the way. Don't need that. So I'll just delete that. You know, is that 5 waves going up through here? It's possibly done. I mean, it doesn't count very well. I mean, we'd have to look at this as wave 1 and 2 into here, and then it would probably have to be another 1 and 2 in here with a 4th and a 5th wave here. So it'll probably, I mean, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for that, doesn't it? Better have a look at that on the tick chart. Sorry, guys, just to be sure to be sure. Okay, just makes the third wave a little bit short, but 1 and 2 here, that's all cool. And then 3 here and 4 here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, it fits. The trouble with this is just that the wave 3 in here is just a little bit short, but I'm going to run with that because I can see 5 here and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then the fourth wave is typical fourth wave, and then we can build 5 waves in here. So I'll call that done and dusted at that point. But what I was kind of expecting here is some sort of little sort of thing here, and then move down coming into the support here before moving off, if indeed we're going to go at that point. So once this rally comes in here, we can go long at that point if you wanted to. I mean, but you'd need that in there, so that would obviously come down at that point. So look, in a nutshell, really, we're just if I can come back here to the 1 hour chart so we've got a better visual on this, but yeah, so the B wave coming into play here. Now, it may just continue to the upside here. And if it does continue to the upside, you have to be a bit careful because it will fall back again over this number, and then you need that reference point high. Now, that might be higher, it may be a bit lower. It doesn't really matter. After it's matured, you can see it a bit better, If this comes into a B wave here and comes down here, then you could look to go long across here. And you'll have to be careful here too. You'd want to see a nice, from the low here, you'd want to see either in gold or silver, you'd want to see a nice impulse wave to the upside. Okay, that's what you'll need to see. That's what you need to look for if it comes back down into this space. But the idea is maybe don't put a full trade in over here, and also use group 2 as well. So if it drops down below group 2 here and then comes back in and finds support, then use the 772 here. That will be the important point here. That's the number. So yeah, and then just build in over here. And the idea is to build in on 10, 20 and 30 over here. And of course that's all of group 1. So the normal swing rate which you need to be mindful of. If we're talking 1800 here, we've got group 1 here and group 2 here. So that's just the normal swing range for this market to do its correction in here. So yeah, I mean, we've really just got the arrival at this stage. We're looking for the reaction, then the first high above the level, and then some sort of ABC. It may not pan out like that, but visually you want support on the 1800. Let's just check out silver as well, which will be in the same, going through the same thing. If, there's different ways I can count this, but if we take it for wave B here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for wave C here of 4, then we're still left with this scenario through here. We're looking for 5 waves up here. If we can get 5 waves, then we know that we'll get a correction and we'll get another 5, but we don't know if we've got 5 yet. We've only got 1, 2, 3 here so far. So we'll need to get, and it's probably different. I can count this differently as well. It doesn't really matter. But the main point here is we don't have 5 waves yet. In fact, we've only got 3 waves. So it could be a corrective rally and then continue down from this point. So this is why you need to be, we need to be careful here. It looks like we've got 5 waves up to this point here for that. So that's sort of okay. It doesn't look much longer than wave 1, but let's just check on that. It's if God's in the details, then money's not going to be far behind it, unfortunately. You see, that's okay. That's just a little bit bigger, but not much. But definitely I can see 5 waves in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I can see in the third wave here for this. I can see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Probably doesn't finish up here very nicely in 5, but it certainly hits supply level at the 2650. The 2650, of course, is also a 65 number. So 65. So it's part of group 2 in this case. So 72 and 80 here. So the medium level here, then group 2 here. If this is going to be bullish, we need to see this sitting up in group 2 here. That's the first sign that the market's leaving this here by getting support there. And you can see that it's important. And if you've been with me long enough, you'll know that I harp on about certain numbers more than others. And I have to get the message across, because it takes a while for the penny to drop. But when it drops and you get it and you see it, then you just keep seeing it. Then you can understand how important this number is through here. becomes the balance point of the correction. So yeah, look, that's where we are. We'll go to the hourly chart and check on it as well. Look, we had a trade in here, and we've taken profit at the 26.50, or you've taken a percentage. I don't know what you've done, but you've done it, or not. If you're just taking a percentage, then you'll need to leave the stop out of the way down here for that. I would have said something like that, but I'm not sure what I said. Not that it matters. I always pretty much say the same thing. So, so there we go. So look, realistically, this can be counted any way you want, really. We could count it as blue wave 1 to the upside, blue wave 2, then green wave 1 and green wave 2. And then going up for green wave 3. We could count it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. We could also count it as green wave 1, green wave 2, and green wave 3, and green wave 4 as well. But I don't know that yet. What we could do is we could try to understand, what's this here? We can get rid of that. If it was going to be a wave 3 up here, green wave 3, well, then we'd be looking for a 38.2% retracement level. So in that case, it would just come down to here, or close enough. I haven't pulled that apart yet, but down to that point and then move off. If it's going to be a wave 2, well, then we're going to see it come down to where it is here, a bit of a bounce here, and then move down here, and then move off from that point. But one of the interesting things here is that we have a reference point now, and it's this one here. So we can go long above that. Now we may be able to go long above that second high here, or you maybe even be able to draw from that top to the second high here and draw a line through there, and also go long from that point there as well. So you just need to do what you need to do to understand what you're doing. Of course, this is at the 2600, 2650 here. So yeah, it's nice if it does come down, because then if it comes down and then finds support back on the 26 here, then it's good. So let's just assume for a moment that we get some sort of ABC pattern here. So the market comes down here, and then it's going to try and get back up. So I'm just doing all the little detaily things here. It'll be something like this. So then, you know, you'll use the top one here to start with, and then you could refine it through here. And if it's going to fail, then it's going to hit here, and then it's going to go back, and then you're safe. But if it's going to go up, well, then it is going to go up, and you'll be triggered in, you know. And it's okay to get a few positions in this space and on 2650 here as well, once it does a little classic trading levels pattern here as well. Because this would be the beginning of the next trend. So if this doesn't really matter if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here, you'd still be in at the beginning of the 5th wave anyway, you know what I mean? And we can look to move out a little bit further up. This is, we can paint that orange. That's 27.20. 27 is important, but this will be more important. And then we've got the 8 here, so that's all of group 2 there. We're not in group 2 just yet. So anyway, folks, that's it. That's all I can do. We can just sort of edge forward. Keep an eye on the currencies. You can look at we update. You know, we've got a full currency set of charts going out each day, so all the pairs are there. So you might be able to understand the US dollar index by looking at the top 3. You know, the cable and the euro and whatnot, to figure out where gold's going, if you're smart enough. So I'll leave it at that, and thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the weekend. Cheers.